tax people and other relevant agencies, the IT people, we can be able to, and also the creative industry. There's a department, a directorate in the sports ministry which deals with the creative economy. Between us, we can have a fair projection of what this sector presents in terms of the actual current contribution to our GDP and also the years to come. I don't think at this stage we are in a position, in my humble view, to declare that the dangers presented by TikTok outweigh the benefits. It's a bit premature. I am inclined to be persuaded once we have a bit of factual and evidence-based policy positions developed. And this is what we should be doing. And between the executive and the legislature, I think we should work out a program where we have a policy that is evidence-based to help us assess whether the risks are greater or they are more prominent than the benefits or vice versa. Number three, do we ban TikTok until they comply? Again, for the reasons I have said in the first two questions, it will be premature. And what we are doing right now, that engagement is a procedural requirement of the current law. You don't just wake up and say, okay, we think this is happening, and then you. So it's an engagement because we have also been seized of this matter. Even outside this petition, we've been seized of this matter. And I think the letter from the data commissioner, I can't confirm the timeline, but the act also provides for timeline and also the constitution. Because this is, whatever measures the country will take is administrative action. If you look at Article 47, it says you must have a procedural, there's a procedure of arriving at an administrative action, including listening to the people who are likely to be affected by that action, giving them an opportunity to be heard. And it doesn't matter the merit of their case. Even if their case is weak, they must be allowed to present the weak case. And when I was in law school, we used to be taught by our teachers that the right to be heard is an undeniable right. Even if somebody has nothing to say, they must be given an opportunity to say the nothing before action is taken. So we have a time frame. I can't remember the number of days they've been asked to. Then the fourth issue was what happens if they don't comply. We take action, period. And I mean, it's not rocket science. We'll do it very fast. We did with WorldCoin and other people. We'll do what we must do if they don't comply. In fact, it's not a request. I didn't use the word request. I said we have required them. It's not a request. You don't enforce the law through requests. You enforce the law through demands, directives, orders, and requirements. Then finally, I think two other additional things. I am not sure whether my sister, the honorable member for Kitui West, the Honorable Nyenze, I humbly disagree that we embrace technologies more than the countries of origin. Maybe some of the more advanced countries, and that is a discussion we should have as a country, there are some well-to-do countries who are very slow in embracing new technologies, and that they are doing well. For various reasons, they are also doing well. So we should not attach embracing technology to our prosperity. because there are countries who are still prosperous, but they have been very careful in embracing new technologies. But there are also very successful countries who have embraced technology big time. So I think that's what I think around that. But I hear you that as a country we must, because of the serious public security, public safety, public health, and the social interests posed by some of these technological applications, we must apply the precautionary principle and always be cautious before having a widespread application that is risky to our members of the public. Is the government saying we don't know whether or not there is compliance, whether or not the controls are there? We have an idea. As security managers, we have an idea what the risks are, but as I said, procedure demands that the person affected by administrative action be given an opportunity to explain themselves, whether they have merit or no merit. Let them say what they want to say. We will triangulate that answer with the information we have before we take action. We will still verify what they say. In other words, we are not going to depend on the responses they give us. We will have to verify it, triangulate it, and independently we have a way of ascertaining what they are telling us, if it is true or not. Finally, I was asked, have I left out anything, Mr. Chairman? I'm processing so many things at the same time. Have I left out anything? I'll be happy to be assisted.
Can I also ask for your indulgence that if there is any member who feels that information, the US with the 52 nations, are they? There are 52 states. 34 of them have prohibited their senior government officers from using this app on government devices. I don't know what we are doing about this ourselves. I don't know if we have, do we have a policy? Is our government requiring, and I'm very careful, I've now learned today that there's a difference between requiring and requesting. Has our government requested, no, required, a senior government officers, Waziri, around this matter? Because then if it's a risk, then it is an overall risk. Thank you.
Chair, I agree with you. The question you pose defies a simple answer. It's a complex matter there, and the balances. You have given the example of the Chinese authorities and how they control, and there's a little matter that this app could have originated from there, and then but still they are requiring a lot of control around it, and I don't see any contradiction there, because you can create something that brings problems, and it doesn't mean if you create something and then it brings unintended consequences, you don't control it. Could be a honest scientific and technological mistake. It has happened in many other places where a laboratory experiment has gone haywire, and what you do as a honest and responsible government of any country is that you still have to deal with those consequences before they harm the population, notwithstanding that you are the creator of that technology. I don't see any contradiction there. But I agree with you, Chair, that, for example, in that country, they have stricter controls, even on other platforms like WhatsApp. and so forth and so on. And thirdly, the issue you raise about policy on who and how do we allow that platform to be used is a valid question, which right now is active before the National Security Council. As you are aware, our ministry in Interior coordinates the cyber security program of the country under the NC4 arrangement, that is the Cybercrime and Security Coordination Committee, which brings together Ministry of Defense, ourselves first, and when I say ourselves, it's the police and NIS, and then defense, and then ICT people to be able to guard our cyberspace. This matter is so complex and so consequential that, and remember, Chair, as I started by placing this problem in the fourth industrial revolution, deliberately, just to show how complicated and how it's not easy for us to just look one way and say, let's decide this. Now, traditionally, national security has been viewed as operating within three spaces: the land, that is all the territory within the borders of the country; the sea, for those countries that are coastal; and the airspace of the country. That is the traditional way of national security. And if you look, for example, at defense arrangements for Kenya and defense arrangements for the world, you have the army to protect the land. You have the Air Force to protect the airspace of the country, and the Navy to protect the shoreline for any risks emanating through the sea. Today, a fourth space called the cyberspace is the theater of risk. And therefore, going forward, we should invest in internal security and defense arrangements that creates a fourth defense tier. Maybe not as part of the military, but we need both military and internal security expertise and technology people to provide the fourth arm of our country's defense. And that is the arm that will defend our cyberspace. The potential of that space to hurt the country is big, but as I've said again, the potential and the potential and the irreversibility of the cyberspace and its contribution to our national development going forward is again undeniable. So, as you process this petition, I want to invite you with a lot of humility, not only to look at the quick fixes of what we need to do and seal whatever loopholes exist at the moment, but have a long-term, comprehensive, and wholesome look at things and help the country beyond banning or not banning TikTok, so that we have a cyber security solution, because the threat is real and big, the opportunities, potential, and irreversibility is also real, big. And that's all I can say for now. We will be keenly waiting to hear what this committee will be recommending, and I'll be more than happy to come and engage again and get the assurance from me and my colleagues in the Interior Ministry. Cyber security and technology, ICT technology threats are as big a priority as our other priorities on the defense of our land and also our borders, even as we collaborate with our brothers in the Ministry of Defense. I submit.
More radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge.